What's up, everybody? This Vicious here again with Jax Vex, and he's becoming quite a regular on this on this channel here. And you probably can still hear my clothes going in the background in the dryer. But we're going to talk about some DLC and what it means for DNF Duel, and what I think it means for DNF Duel. And Jax Vex is along, probably going to share his thoughts on it as well. So I had the picture pulled up. What about you?
Let me pull it up on my end as well.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I got it up now.
You know what? It might serve us to go to DFO.
And I just want to preface this for everybody listening. I have not. Well, I played DFO once after I played DNF. I just did a little bit of, female launcher, First Awakening, and just to kind of get an idea of how the game played. And it was definitely fun. Not really the type of game I would get into without, ignoring everything else in my life and sinking countless hours into it. I think that's really what I would have to do to start getting my enjoyment out of it. But yeah, just for anybody wondering what my experience with DFO is, that's as far as I've made it.
Mm-hmm. And I've played it, like, ever since I heard about DNF Duel, I played it. Not consistently, but I do like the game. I don't like it enough to get back into it now that DNF Duel is out, necessarily. But it's a fun game, and it's free. But yeah, so evidently on the 100th day of DNF Duel being out, they released this picture, and as you can see, they have Enchantress, Berserker, Kunoichi, I don't know why I couldn't remember her for a second, Grappler, and Striker celebrating. But on the cake, which I don't think people notice, but there's some heads on the cake. It says, "Who's next? DNF Duel 100 Day Celebration." And I'm gonna pull up the other picture here. They were speculating that the characters that are going to be released are going to be female Nin Master, which is I would say like a zoner type character, because that's a female fighter that could shoot energy, use her chi and all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah, she has copies of herself too, right?
Yeah, yeah. She can shoot copies of herself. Yeah. She can shoot just all sorts of forms of energy. So I think she's going to be like a zoning fighter, which that'd be like a third zoner to the game. So there's definitely a good amount of variety there. Especially if you like zoning.
Yeah, I can see her being kind of similar to Ghostblade and his ghost mechanic with her copies, just kind of sending those out. Maybe it could be something like that.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't I don't think she has the ability to teleport to her copies necessarily, but she does have the ability to shoot them out and shoot different forms of energy. So and I'll send you, well, actually, if you Google DFO characters and you pick up the first link, it'll show you a link to the classes and whatnot, and you can see pictures of the characters. You can select the classes. But yeah, I think that's an interesting pick. Honestly, I didn't think they'd go with that route, but I want to go ahead and skip Monk real quick, and I want to talk about Brawler. So Brawler is interesting to me because it kind of confirms a little bit what I already thought. I don't think that they're going to do doubles in this game, because the female fighter and female fighter and male fighter have the same classes exactly. So, and they have different moves, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that we're gonna have a male striker, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So since there's 2 for the male fighter and 2 for the female fighter, I'm thinking they might do 2 classes. I'm sorry, 2 advancements only for every character, possibly. but they'd be real trill if they had every advancement. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be sick as hell.
Yeah, that would be a very, very complex game to balance too.
Yeah, that's true. And I honestly, I just hope that Rogue gets in. But yeah, so I wanted to highlight him, and I'll just go ahead and talk about him. So Brawler, male Brawler, and female Brawler at the same time, they both have moves that inflict debuffs on you. Now, this isn't like, you know, uncommon across the DNF cast. As a matter of fact, Berserker is supposed to be able to put a debuff on you called Bleed. It's supposed to make you bleed, and it's basically like quick poison if you play like Bloodborne or Dark Souls games. And Brawler can do the same thing, but Brawler also can blind, and he can put poison on you, and I think he can put confusion on you. And Brawler uses chains and anything he can get his hands on. He can also throw projectiles, but honestly, if they're putting a female Nin Master in, I'm guessing that Brawler probably won't have zoning. He's probably just going to have like a lot of debuffs, is what I'm thinking. Which I'm all for, because there's not too many characters like that. We got Enchantress and her teddy bear thing, where she turns you into like a doll. But we don't have too many characters that can like poison, bleed you, and do.
Well, outside of like passive abilities when they're in Awakening, like Ranger and his damage and defense debuff whenever he hits you with an attack in Awakening, which is really strong when you think about it.
Right, and it kind of makes me want to look up the passives for these characters, or their
try to guess what they're gonna be.
Yeah, and I don't know, I might have to do that for a solo video for me, but yeah, because I don't know if I could like look it up very quickly on here. But yeah, so Brawler, I'm really interested in Brawler. I think it's definitely my favorite out of all of them, personally. And I think these are the ones that people really, really wanted when I looked at when I made my polls. Actually, people wanted Specter, they wanted Battle Mage, they wanted, I think, Nin Master. Did they want Nin Master? Yeah, I think they wanted female Nin Master, and they wanted Monk. So I'm like, I don't know. Was they paying attention to my shit? I don't know. But but yeah, going to Monk, I see that there's a cross on the cake. I'm not necessarily certain that that means Monk, but it kind of might, because of the way the cross looks. I would like Monk to be in the game. He functions like a boxer. If you look up a video of him, he functions like a boxer kinda, and further kind of like makes me think that they won't do like a male striker, because you got like this motherfucker on the game, you know what I mean? Like he already like plays a role. But
as far as like Monk goes, he's in the same class as Crusader, right?
Yeah, he's a male priest.
To my knowledge, Crusader is the only priest class in the game right now. Well, we have female. Inquisitor for female priest.
Yeah.
But that's kind of going back to like the male and female versions of it. So Monk would be another nice addition to have on that male priest class. And they might do something different for female priests later down the line.
Right, and I can't wait to see what that is, because personally, I want Shaman, but a lot of the people, when they did the poll on my channel, they wanted Sensayer, which is like the one with the sight.
Sensayer?
Yeah, that's the one with the sight.
Oh, I have heard of that one before, actually.
Yeah, and actually, I didn't want Monk. Everybody that voted wanted Monk, but I wanted the male priest to turn into the monster, so I could pretend. So I could fucking mod to look like Beast from X-Men. But
yeah, dude, that looks sick.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But Monk, I think Monk is a good choice just off the strength that it's just another striking traditional fighting character. You know.
Yeah, he's gonna be huge too.
He's a big motherfucker, man. Like it's like a buff Gold Lewis.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting when you think about it, because usually characters that large are, regulated to being grapplers.
Oh yeah, 100%. Monk, I'm pulling up the gameplay of him right now. Were you looking at it too, or?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. That's definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, he has sways and all sorts of stuff, and I don't know how that worked necessarily in this game, and he uses like a totem to like do something. I don't know what the hell he does with that totem. I just know he beats the hell out of people, you know. And I'm the type of guy.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm the type of guy. I'll pick the rival character. Like my friend, if he's using Crusader, I will use Monk on him. Like, I will use Monk and tell him that I'm God's favorite child or some shit.
You know what this actually does remind me of, as far as his playstyle? You know, it kind of reminds me of was it Akihiko from
Persona? Yeah.
For Arena, yeah, he's got that sort of same feel to him. And you know, Akihiko, he's kind of a buff dude too. He's not as big as Monk is, but you know, if you just take him and multiply his size, twice his size, you probably get the same character.
Yep. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm just going through just to make sure, because priests, they I don't know. Is he the only one that carries a cross besides Crusader? It looks like it, huh? Yeah, because the other guy... Yeah, one of them has a cross necklace, but that's like on the other Awakening. Yeah, I think they might be spot on. This is probably Monk. Like, I'm ashamed I didn't get this sooner myself. And you watched Nim Master, didn't you? Let me see.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god, I'm so hyped. Like, and it's funny because this is only like, we're not even 6 months yet, right? And everybody's still figuring out stuff with their characters. Like, the roster itself, to me, still feels like it's unexplored. And the fact that we have the possibility of getting 5 new characters?
Yeah, that's
it's
awesome.
Like, oh my god, yeah. It's like, now I'm trying to think of, okay, the roster, 16 characters already. Like, there's already so much depth with them. And now we're adding 5 more characters in addition to that. Dude, this game is going to have a lot of content just with that alone.
Dude, if 2 of those characters are free at the very least, like, I think they will redeem themselves in the eyes of some people. Like, that's kind of like what happened with Melty Blood, They made every character free. Even though I know you didn't like Melty Blood in the beginning, but honestly, I felt like Melty Blood was completely fine in the beginning, and then like people were like singing his praises after they started adding those new characters, and it's like, well, yeah, bro, Melty Blood is great. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but even I knew that. Like, it wasn't really my cup of tea, but even I knew that,
yeah,
the game was fine. It's just certain parts of it that I couldn't personally get into. But when I was playing, I put in quite a bit of time, like at least 100 hours or so into that. I still enjoyed the time that I had in it, and I could see that this game has a lot of depth to it. It was the same thing. People saying Dripless Fighter, Shield, RPS, Vol is stupid with his zoning. Like, once you get past all that surface level bullshit criticism and you actually see the game for what it is, it is a fun game, and it's always been a fun game. It's not like, these new characters have suddenly changed everything. Like, the base of the game is still there.
Yeah, I like that surface level bullshit criticism. I don't remember who it was actually, but I remember they said it was like a fighting game player that was gaining some traction, like a tournament player. They said that the game was dripless, and it's like, dude, these characters look the same as how they did when they came out. Like, it's not made to like be. They don't have to have like 15 zippers and buttons on their fucking pants like Kingdom Hearts.
Right,
characters.
All these belts and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, like, what are they putting in there? You think they're keyblades? I don't know. But yeah, so I right now, since we've been talking, I've watched a video for Nim Master. Should have did that at first. I did it for Brawler, Monk, and Nim Master, so we're caught up to Specter, who I was going to bring up next. Specter actually is really funny to me because I wanted Vagabond. I thought Vagabond would be the rival to Kunoichi because they're both like very Asiatic. And Vagabond, she was the only one that I liked when I was playing DNF. I thought Demon Slayer would be too on the nose, because we got Berserker. Yeah. Very similar characters, they use blood, they use Zambatos, whatever. Swordmaster looked cool. Dark Templar, whatever. But Vagabond was my chick because she used magic and she used 2 swords, and I was like, oh, cool. But Specter came along.
That is dope. Yeah.
Yeah, Specter came along, and I don't know. Like, people love Specter. I haven't played with her yet. I might, as all that shit I was talking before, I might get back in just to see what she does. But Specter, I thought they wouldn't put in just off the strength that they were trying to add different weapon classes. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that's what they were going off of. Because she uses a katana and Ghostblade uses a katana. So I was like, well, they must be using Vagabond. You know, she uses a lightsaber. And, you know, Berserker
It would be visually distinctive.
What's that?
People would just look at it. Would be visually distinctive, and people wouldn't just, you know, look at it and go, huh, these 2 characters look exactly the same because they have the same weapons and stuff. But,
right, that's what I thought
I guess from the... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess from the gameplay that I'm looking at, you know, you'll definitely, like, yeah, they have the same weapons, but holy shit, do they look like they play differently.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned, okay, I'm tripping. I was like, did I mention that there were faces on the cake? Because I've just been putting up these pictures. I'm like, did I mention that? I know it's circled.
Yeah,
but like,
yeah.
All right, cool. Sorry, yeah.
You mentioned that.
You hit the nail on the head. That's what I was thinking they'd go with. But Specter, and I'm playing the video now here, Specter has like a whole different style than Ghostblade, and I think that's what I should have been looking at the most. Because honestly, man, she looks really cool. She looks like she's going to be fast. I can't pin down what type of character type she would be.
Was that a parry that I saw?
Yeah, she has a parry. So like she can get hit and she can reverse it, evidently. That's like one of her main characteristics, I think, that they mentioned in the preview when you play with her on the game. But she has like crazy sword techniques. Yaido. I don't know what type of character this would be. I don't know if she's going to be like a character where she's like rushed down. I don't know if she's going to have moves that go into other moves. It's really hard just looking at her. Do you have any guesses? If this is true?
I think they're gonna keep her similar to, you know, I'm not even really sure what to classify. Ghostblade is kind of like mid-range. I think they're gonna keep her like that because another thing that people have to understand is that DFO is like fast as fuck. DNF is a lot slower pace, so whenever they do translate these characters, they're gonna keep them like within these certain ranges where, you know, the characters that are really fast are the ones with shorter range, and, you know, the more range you get, the slower you are. So I think she's gonna fall in that Ghostblade level of mid-range. You know, teleport, a parry. They might, she might. I don't know if she'll have a teleport and a parry. I don't know. They might give her like an advancing normal that's a teleport, and then just have her DP be a parry because there's not a lot of parry characters in this game, and I feel like that's something that they want to add more of.
Yeah, I think they would do that for like the DP, honestly.
Yeah,
like, but she also has like this other thing going on where I know it's hard to see in the trailer, but she has like a wire. So like she uses that wire to like draw her in closer to the enemies, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, I see that now.
Yeah, like I think that's gonna play into it. I don't think she's gonna be like Scorpion necessarily, but she's probably gonna be like what I wanted Takashi Takeda to be like in MKX. If you ever played that, because he was trained by Scorpion and he has these whips in one variation, but he doesn't use them like you'd think he would. But yeah,
right.
But yeah, like I don't know. She might be a trap character. Maybe she like sets up a wire, and if you touch her wire, you jump on it. She like zooms up to you and doesn't.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. But you know, she definitely moves around a lot, similar to like Ghostblade does. So I feel like they are still going to give her like teleports in some way, because her run speed and walk speed might be really slow, and the way that she gets her mobility is through these teleports. I'm pretty sure that's how she's going to function.
Yeah, I think so. Man, I'm like, the more and more I talk about this, the more excited I get, because these are, yeah, like, and I'm glad that, you know, you actually went the extra step and went to DFO's website. You didn't have to do that, but I'm glad that, you know, you're here with me, and you could like,
I'm willing to do the research for sure, because this game has interested me. It's a fun game. I like the gameplay and the fact that I can see the source material and how kind of get an idea of how they're going to translate these characters. That's the most fun part, because for most fighting games like fighters, you can watch the anime or play old games, but that's not necessarily how they're going to end up being in the game, if they're even in the game at all. But at least in this case, you have a example of what the character is going to play like, and you can just start thinking in the confines of DNF and all the system mechanics and stuff, how they're going to function. Right. That part to me is really fun.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking about the entire time since like the game launched or was in pre-launch. Like, man, what are they going to do? Like, how are they going to do certain characters? Oh boy.
Right.
Hold on, I got just like a little bit of a discrepancy here, I think. This could be Battle Mage, but maybe you'll run through it with me. I hate to take up like any more of your time.
Oh no, that's good.
Okay. But let's go to the female mage, because we're thinking, or at least the picture was thinking, that the next character after Specter is going to be Battle Mage, which, if you subscribe to my channel and you were here with me through the polls, people want Battle Mage the most. There is Summoner, which honestly I'm scared about, because Summoner functionally is the same as like Necromancer in the Thief class, and I don't want Necromancer, guys. I want Rogue. But I don't know. I just had to throw that in there, because it's like, if Summoner is not next, that means they might put Necromancer to put that character type in the game. But
right.
But anyway,
I've also been hearing Witch as what that might be too. People are speculating that, but I might agree with you with Battle Mage. That seems to fit more, especially Second Awakening. So that's the other thing, right? With all these characters, I think most of them are the Second Awakenings, from what it looks like on the cake, and I think that might be the push moving forward for this first round of DLC, is that they're all going to be Second Awakening versions, because everybody currently in the roster is their First Awakening.
Which I kind of don't like, because some of them have like really dope, like Kunoichi has a dope like Third Awakening. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think everybody will say everybody has a dope Third Awakening depending on what their affinity is. Like, if they like edgy stuff, they might say Berserker has like the best Third Awakening, and he should look like that. Honestly, I think Berserker's Third Awakening looks too much. This motherfucker looks like a crab to me.
Yeah.
But
let me look this up.
Yeah, let me know what you do.
Oh yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, I know.
Is too much. This dude is going like Super Saiyan 3.
He's like, ah! and like, just because we know what this motherfucker sounds like, it's like even worse now, because it's like, ha ha!
Yeah.
You can just hear it in your ear.
Yeah.
But
that's a little too much.
Yeah, but like Kunoichi looks fine. I like all her awakenings, but gosh, sorry, I'm getting a little sidetracked here. Let's go back to like the female mage. So I don't know if it's Witch necessarily. Clothes finally stopped. Damn, it's been forever. But if it was Witch, and I'm flicking on the gameplay, you don't got to, but I'm flicking it on. If it was Witch, I would speculate that her gameplay, since this is speculation, would be somewhat like set play zoning, kind of like how you already can do with Enchantress. I don't know if that'd be as interesting, but it wouldn't be puppetry. It would just be set play.
I'm seeing a lot of Trinity the Plat.
Yes. Hey, yo, thank you for saying that, because when I was doing the character polls, I said she's a lot like Platinum, but somebody said she's nothing like Platinum. I'm like, what? Am I crazy?
I am seeing a lot. Like the first 5 seconds, I was like, dude, this looks exactly like Platinum. What the hell?
Yeah, like, she's a very silly character, and I wouldn't be opposed to her being in the game, because, I don't know.
Yeah, you definitely need one of those. You definitely need one of those silly, gimmicky characters.
Yeah, and there's a lot of characters like that in this game. It's not just her. Well, it's mostly female mage, I would say. But, like, you can get characters that can, like, put, a bunch of shit on screen. But it would be funny to see some of this stuff. I do agree. And the interesting thing about the mage and the female mage, the male mage and the female mage, that is, they don't share the same classes. They have one class that's very similar. It's Elementalist and Elemental Bomber. If we see, if we ever see like a third, male or female mage, that means that it's open out in the open for like other classes that don't have like mirrored classes with like their opposite sex to like have more classes put into the game. Did I say that in like a clear way, or is that confusing?
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, like so like
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
yeah, so if we have Enchantress and they put Witch in the game and they also put Battle Mage, we might get 3 from Male Mage, whereas like the fighters and the gunslingers, I forget what they're called, they might be out of luck because they share the same thing, except for I think gunslinger. I'm sorry, the male ranger shooter, whatever the hell they're called, I forget. What the hell is this? Gunner, male gunner. He has like one extra class because of an update they did last year, which I don't know. It'd be interesting to see that in the game, but. Anyway, back to female mage. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place.
Nah, you're good. You're good.
Battle mage is interesting. It's like the people's favorite that voted on my polls last year. And I think that'd be cool. You know, have like a physically attacking mage with like magic effects all over the screen. She has a spear and she has an ability where she transforms too. Maybe that could be a buff. Maybe that could be part of her super.
It's an archetype you don't see very often. Like, that's the other thing too. Like, there's so many interesting types of characters in here that they could really, create something that you don't see in a lot of fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
Like different types of archetypes.
Right, and this is a lot.
I'm like watching the gameplay now. What the fuck? She's transformed into this gigantic. What is this? This is crazy.
Yeah, this is a lot like. Kind of reminds me of Tsubaki from Blaze Blue.
I was immediately like, I saw the move, the giant circle, and the sword coming. So I was like, oh my god, this is exactly what I think of. Jesus, dude, this game is so visually appealing. What the fuck? I need to spend more time than what I actually spent in DFO.
Did you know that you can like change it so you can like make the magic attacks like controller attacks? Like I'm not controller attacks, like actual fighting game inputs. Like, did you know that?
I've heard of that, but I didn't actually see anywhere in the tutorial. I was like, it was so much information for me to take. I was like, okay, where's the simple shit? How do I just turn on motion inputs?
Oh yeah, I think you gotta go to like the skill menu, and you have to like change the skills into. Well, no, before you do that, you gotta change the hotkeys on the keyboard to your controller. But you gotta like turn on DS4 if I remember correctly. Yeah. If you're using
I'll figure it out.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just talking right now. If you wanted to play, I'd be happy to join you. Yeah, I think that this would be interesting to add to the game. Again, you have to like think of this game as like 2 times slower than what it is to like figure out actually what these characters are gonna do. And
right, because this game is fast.
Yeah, and some of these characters you have to go to like their lower forms for their videos. Like I was looking at the Neo Battle Mage. I had to go down to the lower one because like this one gives me like a better expectation because I don't see the character going into like her final form the entire battle. You know what I mean?
Right, and so I think that's kind of the pattern that I think. So if it's true that this first round of DLC is going to be Second Awakenings only, and that that's moving up from the 16 characters that we got from the initial roster that were in First Awakening. If they continue another round of DLC, we're probably going to get that Neo or Third Awakening versions of these characters to kind of build on top of that. That's kind of where I see this going.
Lord Almighty, if there's a Lord in the sky, please make it so Rogue is the next thief. You guys can't see it, but I'm doing the cross. The what is it? The I don't know, something the Spirit, the Holy Ghost. I don't know, some shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that I'm looking at this footage here for like Battle Mage and her Second Awakening, It looks like there's a still where she has like these glowing horns, and
Let me go back to that. I was checking out Rogue. Let me go back to that.
oh, gotcha. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about Rogue next. Nah,
Yeah, I was trying to see what you were so hype about.
I was about to say after this, let's talk about the characters, the ones we want to see most. I think that'd be interesting. Um,
Yeah. But I'm looking at Battle Mage now.
yeah,
Oh my god, dude, this transformation is so. And like, it's only, what, maybe 20 seconds into it before she transforms? So that's the rest of the trailer. It's just her, this big ass transformation.
well, yeah,
It's so cool.
well, I'm looking at the second Awakening version, and like in the still art.
Oh, wait, there's different gameplays for it?
Oh yeah,
Oh, is it the, what is this? A Starday gameplay or whatever? Is that is?
yeah. Halfway through it, she goes into there's like this still, and like you can see art of her with horns, and the horns, the way the horns are positioned, it makes me go back to the cake, and it's like the hair is positioned really weirdly on her head on that cake. So like maybe it's supposed to be
yeah,
the
it
horn.
is.
But then again, there's another character I wanted to talk about because it could possibly be another knight. It could be Chaos.
Let me go there. Let me see. Yeah. Maybe. I think they would make more of a distinction, though, with the hair not being so much like the horn, but maybe doing more. Or I guess, I don't know if that would be too on the nose to have the dragon wings as like horns.
Well, like if you go to like wait a second. You said it was supposed to be Second Awakening. I went to like the first.
Yeah, I think that's what I heard, is that they're going to try to do Second Awakenings for this round of DLC. So that's the assumption that I'm working off, because that's been right for most of these, right? Most of these have been.
That's true.
I guess. Well, Specter, she looks kind of the same in all of them, so it's kind of hard to tell. But for the others, it seems like these mostly seem to be reflecting their Second Awakenings.
Right. Yeah. Let me go back to, since you mentioned that, let me go back to Monk Second Awakening. Because I think about the crosses on his arm and his Neo Awakening. Because that's what's posted on this picture.
Yeah.
His Neo Awakening.
Yeah, but his Second Awakening, it's like right there on his hip.
Yeah, he's about to draw.
It's also his chest too, so.
Yeah, he's about to draw.
Yeah. Yeah, he's ready.
Yeah. But I think we've talked about like all of them. Which one are you like most looking forward to? Like if you had to point any of them out of this whole roster, because
Oh man, there are so many. Like now that I'm looking at Ninmaster is like speaking to me on a spiritual level. If I'm being honest, I really like how she plays. Yeah, but let me just take a look at the class that I actually play, the female gunner. Let me see if anything in here speaks to, because
go ahead.
yeah, they kind of look. So maybe Spitfire Second Awakening would be cool, just because dual wielding. But I feel like Ranger kind of already fills that space.
Well, you said because of dual wielding. Her main thing is being able to fly.
Oh, let me watch the game. I'm just going off the pitch. God, this game is so like it. It's not surprising how much work they put into trying to make DNF look gorgeous, because the character art for this game is
It's
good.
superb. It's crazy.
So good. Let me watch. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see how.
That
I
would
have.
be annoying to deal with.
Well, I play with her a little bit, so like I can tell you that all of this is not like what you think. Like she only has like a certain amount of times that she could fly into the air. Now, as long as she's attacking, she could stay in the air, but she can only be in the air for like a certain amount of time. She has like nodes that she has, which would fit into a fighting game in a fighting game context, because she could have like a little gauge or some nodes on the side, like, oh, you get to jump or stay in the air 4 or 5 times. She's personally the one out of all these I want. I think people want wait, what did people say they wanted? I think they wanted mechanic, if I'm not mistaken. No, I think they wanted Spitfire.
Yeah, I've heard about mechanic. I've heard about Spitfire and mechanic. I think Spitfire, I've been hearing a lot more that people want her, and that gameplay to me is really interesting because it reminds me kind of like Zamasu, Storm, Magneto. All the different types of flight characters and their 8-way dashes and shit like that. That would be interesting for her, especially with her being as aerial as she is. She would be like, people already complaining about Dragon Knight and her fucking air fireball and her staying up in the air all the time and shit. This would be like Dragon Knight on crack. She would never touch the ground. I think that would be interesting because at the same time, there's no air blocking, right? So it's risk reward. That's how you are going to run your game plan, but you have to do so in a way where you're pretty much playing without a block mechanic because you're in the air constantly.
Right. Another thing about this character that's really interesting is the usage of elements, because I think both Spitfires are like this, but her specifically, she can lay down claymores and she can change her guns to different elements. So that's another thing that you could play with. So she could change her guns to have like an ice element, fire. I think the other one's like I forget what it is, some sort of energy. And
I think that's what this game is really missing too, right? Like, I think you mentioned it before, but they really need to play more with buffs and debuffs, especially debuffs or status effects, because you really only get that when characters are in their awakening, or if characters use certain moves like Crusader. Whenever he uses his DP, he buffs himself. But you don't, outside of that, you don't really see characters utilizing that a lot. It's just more so your basic fighting archetypes, your rush down, your zoners, your trap characters, mid range. You don't really have anybody who is relying on maybe Lost Warrior. He has to hit you 5 times before he gets enough runes on you to activate time stop. But other than that, nobody really relies on stuff like that.
Lost Warrior, he writes his full name on you in a forgotten language. His name is Rupert. That's what I tell people. God. He's writing his name on you, and it's Rupert. He's writing Rupert on you.
Before I forget, so I guess the one character that does have the potential to play like that is Crusader. And you don't really see Crusaders do this a lot because I guess it doesn't really feel like it's optimal. But when he activates his bubble, and then he can release that for anybody who is watching is just familiar with DNF. I think people just call it the disco ball, the purple lasers and shit. Like, you don't see that too often, but when it does come out, it's really cool. And I think when he activates his bubble as well, and he has the lightning added to his attacks, and you can get a shock effect where you can't jump. Mm-hmm. Shit like that is actually pretty powerful. Like, first thing I think of is Kanji in Persona 4 Arena being able to do that and prevent people from jumping, so their only option is to dash or walk. They can't run either, I think.
Or do their little hop that puts them in.
They have to do that little hop. Yeah. But Crusader, he has that same access to that same type of gameplay, but it's just there's so much stuff that you have to go through to get to that point that I think a lot of people just don't do it because it's not worth it. But if there was a character who was focused on those kind of buffs and debuffs, I think that would be really interesting gameplay. I would play a character like that. Shit, that seems fun to me.
That's why I think Brawler is a perfect fit, because I think you could get a lot out of that character. I think you can get a bunch of debuffs. You can get a bunch of ways to trap the opponent. He would definitely be classified as a unique trap character, probably, and not the one that people are thirsting over on Twitter and stuff. But I think that she would definitely be really sick. And honestly, the way I would think she would work out is if she does change elements with her guns, it just give her different juggle properties. Like maybe she freezes them, it freezes them on the ground, similarly to Sub-Zero freezing you. You use the fire version of the gun, it blows them up into the air, so you can do move in the air.
You know who that reminds me of? Sorry to cut you off again.
No, you're good.
That reminds me of like Margaret and Elizabeth gameplay. I keep going back to P4 Arena, but man, the groundwork is there. All they got to do is just like take some inspiration from there and just translate it into here using these characters' abilities. But like Margaret has, stuff where they pull from the Persona game where she can confuse you. I think she could freeze you. Fire. I don't think fire necessarily does anything outside of a visual effect, but it looks cool. It might do more damage, and she's got command grabs and shit. Like different ways to work in spells from the game that just look visually appealing, and they're in her moveset, so it's there's different ways that you can work with it, right? Like each move has its own properties, and it might be tied to a specific button. So while other characters, they might have all these different moves for different reasons, like anti-air, jump-ins, and stuff like that. Like it would be the same for her, but you have the added effect of, well, your anti-air also freezes people. So you also want to use that more regularly, like maybe for not just anti-airing, but on the ground and combos and stuff, so you can get that ice effect, which gives you more of a reason to use a move outside of just its main purpose of anti-air, jump in, reversal, like give a move more versatility.
Right. Any other ones you wanted to see in the game, by the way?
Man, there's so many characters.
I know there's so many. I wanted you to give like 2 or 3, and I might give like 2 or 3.
Yeah, I definitely see what everybody's talking about. Nim Master, I'm probably most excited for her right now.
She's a beast.
Spitfire, I definitely do want to see that gameplay just because I would be interested to see how they translate that sort of aerial combat into a game like this. You know what? Let me check out Rogue because I do want to see what you're talking about with Rogue. That might be my third choice depending on this gameplay. Let me look at this.
Well, all right. Well, shoot. Well, hell, I'll go ahead and do one for me then, and that's gonna be Rogue then. Since we're on the topic, she's awesome, man. Like out of all the
oh my god, what is this?
Listen, you don't want me to get Rogue. You don't want me to do that. Don't let me get this character.
What the hell is happening?
She's the fastest
Dude,
of the thieves.
What are those skulls?
What's up?
Are those hers? Are those skulls hers? What is going on?
Wait, are you on Rogue?
Yeah, I think this is the Neo Rogue, though.
No, those skulls aren't hers. They're like the bosses.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, what is going on? This character has way too much.
Oh, yeah. She's the fastest of the thief class.
I don't understand what I'm seeing. I'm going to need you to start breaking stuff down. Like, it was cool, but I don't understand anything that I just saw.
So, Rogue...
It's awesome.
Rogue has like a unique ability, which a lot of characters have it in the game, but I think it'd be cool to add it to like DNF Duel. She can cancel her specials into other specials. And like the main thing about her is she's the fastest of the thief class, which she might be the first of the thief class. She's definitely like up there, right? She's like the first in line. And I like knife characters, I like dagger characters, I like fast characters, so she fits me, And basically when you see all those flashing lights on the screen, you see all that moving and stuff around. She's just moving really fast.
She's everywhere.
Yeah, she's moving really fast all the way across the screen, which of course you can tone that down, but like, think Ghostblade and how his fast movements are, but like think like more hits with her. She has
do you know what would be a really interesting mechanic for her if she had wall jumps? That would be dope. Because it would allow her to be all over the place.
Well, hell, they might add it. I don't know. But she does have double jump. I think all the thieves have double jump. So, that might already be a problem if she gets added. And what else?
I don't think they'll do that, though, because I think they want to keep characters, like, unique aspects like that. They'll probably give that to Konoichi. But instead, if they gave her the ability to wall jump like Vega, I think that would be a good, you know, alternative for her
Oh,
because holy shit, that's all I'm seeing is that she's just bouncing all over the place. If they were to translate that to DNF, that's exactly what I would do. Is just give her the ability to bounce off of the walls. That would be really cool.
right. And she has like a dash that makes her invulnerable too. Like she's just crazy, man. She moves really fast and she does like a lot of well, a decent amount of damage, and she can cancel into her specials from other specials. Now, another thing is to do that, she has a gauge. It's called the hit meter, which is another reason I think she had fit into the fighting game. Like she needs to have the hit meter filled up in order to cancel from one special to another. And she can end the specials with like an extra hit if she has the hit meter up enough.
Yeah, I think I see that bar that's like always present with these crazy high numbers.
Yeah, man. Like that's the one I. Well, actually, I think that's just the boss gauge. I don't know if they have it on here. I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, dude. She's just really crazy. Like her speed. That's something that I want. Not necessarily in this form, but I do want her playstyle. I guess I wouldn't be too heartbroken if they put a Shadow Dancer in the game, which is kind of like her, but like she's like I don't know. It's not the one that I want. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't be heartbroken if they put Shadow Dancer.
Dude, I've watched this like 3 or 4 times. I still don't know what's happening, but I like it.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
she's my third.
Yeah, I think she'd be really really sick for the game. I want to see the next Thief character. I just don't want it to be Necromancer because I don't think of when I think of Necromancer, I don't think of a Thief class. That's one, and two. There's several other characters that could just do that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, why is a Necromancer a thief? Like, what, does she steal souls and that's it? Is that their only connection?
I guess
that
grave
really
robbing.
Make a lot of sense to me.
I guess grave robbing is a part of it, but like, you know, when I think of a thief, I don't normally think of that. I normally think of like a dagger.
Yeah, that's something you would put in a magic class.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's why I said earlier, female mage has summoner, you know, and even a female slayer has like a ghost summoning thing. I think it's Dark Templar. Yeah, and male slayer also has one, but gosh, that's one for me. The other one, I want another demonic lancer. Now, the people that voted on my channel want dragoon, but I want skirmisher for a demonic lancer.
Let me pull him up. Let me pull him up real quick. I didn't look at any of these yet. There's just so much, man.
He also can cancel specials and other specials, but his shit looks crazy.
Let me check him out real quick. Yeah, so right here, he already looks like a better combo heavy version of Vanguard. The point where he's just not, you know, like hitting you with I don't know if I would really call them like frame traps. I guess that's kind of how Vanguard plays. He kind of tries to bait you into doing stuff, and because he's at a range that keeps him safe, it allow him to attack you and catch you slipping with counter hits and stuff. But this character feels like he'd have the classic, you know, I guess you would call it classic Marvel vs. Capcom gameplay of like hitting you on the ground into a launcher in the air, back on the ground, launching you again, you know, up and down, up and down. I think it's like what V gameplay or M gameplay, something like that. Just like the flow of combat is, you know, you're going up, down, up, down, up, down. Something like that would look really cool. Because I don't think any other character does that outside of like Striker.
Yeah, and like the thing that I think about definitely is contrast. You know, like I would like a contrast for the class that's already existing in the game, and it's not really saying much for Vanguard because Vanguard is the slowest of all the demonic lancers. But I think Skirmisher is the fastest. I don't know if they're gonna go from like one extreme to the next. But, you know, I also wouldn't be opposed to Dragoon, which people wanted on my channel. You know, Dragoon is pretty cool. He's like a magic lancer.
Yeah, that's like almost your typical type of Lancer too.
Yeah,
Your Fate Stay Lancer.
yeah, exactly. He might actually, if they put Dragoon in, he might actually be a zoner. But also, you know
Yeah.
what? I said I wanted Skirmisher, but Impaler is the one that I use. Impaler would be a zoner 1000%. That motherfucker is
Let me
dope.
look. Oh, I've seen this. I've seen this guy before. People have posted artwork of his like Neo Awakening and stuff. I think as like people are characters that they want to see.
Yeah, he looks
I
like
haven't seen the
Belial.
gameplay, but I've definitely seen them. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Or Belial
Oh
looks
yeah,
like
he's
him.
1,000% a zoner. I
Yeah.
have 1 second in. He is 1,000% zoner.
Yeah, that will also be a stark contrast from Vanguard, because Vanguard isn't necessarily a zoner, but he can control space really well. So
Right, right. He's more. I want to. I hate to like classify everybody as just rush down mid range and zoner, because the mid range zone Vanguard has more range than Ghostblade, right? So, but they're both, I would say, mid range characters.
hmm.
So I don't know. It's hard to really place because Vanguard's not a zoner either because Launcher he gets shit on by Launcher as far as like playing outside of his range, but everybody else doesn't really. I guess besides Ranger, everybody else doesn't really have the range to contest with him. So it's kind of hard where to place him, but he definitely is mid range.
Yeah, um, and I think that it's crazy how he could take half your life and fucking it's so funny to me how the worst character in the game can take half your life like he can. Vanguard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, his damage is up there.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this Dark Knight too. So is this like the? I guess it's not really male class of knight, but like anti-class of the knight, the Dark Knight.
Well, what it is see, this and creator are I want to say auxiliary classes. Basically, this is like a different form of Slayer, and creator is like a different form of female mage. So they both went through.
Gotcha.
Basically, this is what happens when they go through an event in the game, and they are introduced to this time area, and they're affected by the power of time or whatever. So Dark Knight is basically a Slayer with he's like a pretty even kill Slayer. He basically can do a lot of the things most of the other Slayers can do, to be honest. He can do a lot of what they do, and just differently. Creator is basically Elementalist, female mage, and a little bit of Elemental Bomber from male mage. And basically she just uses a lot of the different elements like fire, ice, lightning, and they're basically.
So she's like 9.
Yeah, she does a lot of AoE attacks, and then yeah, let's not put her in the game. Now that you mentioned 9.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you give me a 9 character, that's it. It's over. That is my character forever from that point on.
I'm surprised you don't want Elemental Bomber, male mage. I think that might fit you.
Yeah, if they give me anything, and that's kind of what I was talking about. I guess I should have used 9. 9's a better example than Margaret or Elizabeth. But having a character that has all these different crazy kinds of status effects. And it's on paper, the character has the same buttons as everybody else. You got your lights, mediums, heavies, specials, anti-airs and stuff. But the way that they function and the way that you string them together for combos is so different. Because some buttons will give you these buffs, but you have to access them through building up different types of spells and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Which means you have to use different moves and a specific type of secrets. I love 9's gameplay in Central Fiction. That is my favorite character. One of my favorite fighting game characters of all time. I fucking love 9.
You should check out Elemental Bomber with male mage, because I think that, like I said, I think that shit would really be good for you. Honestly, this might be your number 3 instead.
Yeah, let me look at that real quick. Yeah, 2 seconds, 3 seconds in. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, man, these characters are so raw, man. I just I want them all to be in the game.
Dude, this would be, yeah, and he combines all the elements together for like one big beam. Dude, that is it right there.
Yeah.
Put him in the game, and that's me.
Yeah, and I don't know how Elementalist differs with female mage, but I doubt she's going to be in it because of the preview, or not the preview, because that 100-day thing. But I don't know how different they are. I think she's more about status effects than actually doing the attacks. No, I was wrong.
Damn, that's a because if she was more status effects, that would be like an interesting contrast for sure between those two characters. But in a game like this, I'm pretty sure you're only going to get one or the other, and I kind of want them like both fused into one because that's basically what 9 is.
Right. Lord Almighty. Well, this
video's crazy too, though.
Yeah, she is. But this video's going on for a while. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here, and yeah. I might have to. I don't know. Do I have time to hit the gym? I guess if I stretch. All right, man. Well, you guys know what the deal is. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out Jax Vex's channel. Should be in the description. I'll catch you guys later.